Good evening there, Facebook Live. Apostle Terrence Lyons of Ecclesia Ministries here in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. Coming to you again on tonight, bringing you tonight's Bible study. Pray that everybody's had a good week and things have been going well for you. We done stirred up a little bit of rain on today. Well, actually a lot of rain on today. Let me make a couple of adjustments here and get some things in place. Let's see here. Had an upgrade and had to do some adjusting there. So, again, I pray that everything's going well for everybody there tonight. Good evening there, Prophetess Tanisha. Good evening there, sis. Y'all caught a close-up of my face. I wasn't expecting y'all to see my project undercover just yet. Figure I'd switch some things up and do some facial differences there. Good evening there, Overseer Melissa. See y'all done got a sneak peek of what I'm building. But it's all good. It was going to be public anyway. So everything is going well. Again, I pray that everything is happening well with everybody in all of your separate states. There's quite a bit of stuff going on across the nation. All good, though. Though you're probably figuring what in the world is up with this question that he's got on here tonight. What is going on? Y'all give me a little time. You know, I'll make it make sense one way or another. So just gotta get everything to where it needs to be. So we're gonna go ahead and get stirring here. Let everybody come on and catch up in the way that they're gonna catch up, if you can, because I'm subject to be stirred up tonight. Going to be starting a new part of the series of communication, and our question tonight, I'm sure you already saw, is can you talk your enemy's language? Good evening now, Brother Leo. Can you talk your enemy's language? Like, well, why I want to talk to my enemy? Why do I even need to talk to an enemy? Well, there's a couple of reasons, and like I said, we're gonna stir up some stuff tonight and get it going. So I guess I'll start out what I want you to see initially. Let's look at Proverbs 24, verses 19 through 22. Proverbs 24, verses 19 through 22. And as I show you this, we're going to look at another passage here before we get to our first point. So Proverbs 24, verses 19 through 22 says this. It says, "Fret not thyself because of evil men, neither be envious at the wicked. For there shall be no reward to the evil man. The candle of the wicked shall be put out. My son, fear thou the Lord and the king, and meddle not with them that are given to change. For their calamity shall rise suddenly, and who knoweth the ruin of them both." So one of the first things I want you to understand about this passage is in verse 20 when he says, "There shall be no reward to the evil man. The candle of the wicked shall be put out." So when you see that verse and then you start to think about 2 Chronicles 7 and 14, if my people who are called by my name will humble themselves, seek my face, turn from their wicked ways. So here he's saying, the candle of the wicked shall be put out. What I want you to understand about this, because in verse 19, when he's saying, okay, don't fret yourself because of evil men. Don't worry about that. Don't even focus on evil men and what they're thinking and where they're at and all of that. So this is what I want you to get. Fret not thyself because of evil men, neither be thou envious at the wicked. So he's trying to show us, Solomon's trying to show us here is like, look, don't get off track by looking at the crazy that's going on around you. And I'm sure you've seen plenty of that this week. So don't pay attention to the crazy that's going on around you. But in verse 21, he says, "Fear thou the Lord and the king, and meddle not with them that are given to change." Now that's vital to understand, because when he's telling us not to meddle, what I want you to get is a lot of times he's trying to show us, okay, don't get yourself involved in some stuff that ain't got nothing to do with you. Don't get to intermingling and don't get to doing all of this other kind of stuff with some things that aren't a part of your necessary future. See, and I touched base a little bit last week, and I told you I was going to deal with some necessary stuff and show you about the things that are necessary, some things that are necessary and close, some things that are necessary and distant, some things that are necessary and intimate, and some things that are necessary and temporary. And I left you hanging with that fifth one, and that fifth one is pretty much necessary and permanent. So you got your necessary and close, necessary and distant, necessary and intimate, necessary and temporary, necessary and permanent. And here, when he's saying, "Fear the Lord and the king, but meddle not with them that are given to change," what he's wanting us to understand is you've got some instances to where people they're putting on a show, okay? And I'm about to go in. They're putting on a show, and it's a duplicate show. It's a situation to where they're trying to reel you in. And I know some of y'all felt that this week. There were some people trying to reel you in on some stuff that as soon as you felt it, you're like, nah, that ain't got nothing to do with me. that ain't got nothing to do with me. It don't feel right. It don't sound right. It don't look right. Just something ain't right. Something ain't right. Now, y'all might not have ran into that, but I did. But what I want you to get is this. So now I want you to look at another passage before I give you this first point, because again, can you talk your enemy's language? And you're like, well, you ain't told me why I need to talk my enemy's language. You ain't you ain't explained to me what that's about. Well, I'm about to. So now I want you to look at the book of Judges, chapter 7, verses 9 through 18. The book of Judges, chapter 7, verses 9 through 18. Because here we have Gideon about to give us something that the reason I need you to understand the enemy's language and understand, can you talk your enemy's language? It is for this reason right here. Because there's some things that sometimes God is going to use to have, watch this, woo, he's going to have the enemy confirm some of your stuff. You're like, whoa. Nah, hold on, Pastor. Hold on, Pastor. What you talking about? He going to have the enemy confirm some of my stuff? He going to have the enemy to confirm some of your stuff. The enemy. Yeah. That one, the one you're going to fight against. Because watch this. Sometimes your hope doesn't even come in until you're able to see how you can defeat your enemy. And that's why I wanted to use this passage right here. So in Judges chapter 7, verses 9 through 18, says this. Judges chapter 7, verses 9 through 18, says this right here. Watch this. It says, and it came to pass the same night that the Lord said unto him, arise, get thee down unto the host, for I have delivered it into thine hand. But if thou fear to go down, go thou with Purah thy servant down to the host, and thou shalt hear what they say. And afterward shall thine hands be strengthened to go down unto the host. Then went he down with Purah his servant unto the outside of the armed men that were in the host. Now wait a minute. Look at what verse 11 says. I'm going to read that again before I read on down. Thou shalt hear what they say. See, sometimes you need to hear what they say so that it gives you a little bit more courage about what God has said to you. I'm going to show you. See what they say. Afterward shall thine hands be strengthened to go down unto the host. So this is what God is telling Gideon. He's saying, I need for you to go down. I need for you to listen to what you're going to hear them say. And then after you hear them say what they're going to say, then your hands are going to be strengthened. You're going to be ready to take on the assignment that I gave you. So watch what happens. It says, then went he down with Purah his servant unto the outside of the armed men that were in the host, and the Midianites and the Amalekites and all the children of the east lay along the valley like grasshoppers for multitude. And their camels were without number as the sand by the seaside for multitude. And when Gideon was come, behold, there was a man that told a dream unto his fellows. So again, can you talk your enemy's language? So he needs to understand, he needs to comprehend what the enemy is saying in this instance. So watch this. It says, woo, told a dream to his fellow and said, behold, I dreamed a dream, and lo, a cake of barley bread tumbled into the host of Midian, and came unto a tent, and smote it that it fell, and overturned it, that the tent lay alone. And his fellow answered and said, this is nothing else save the sword of Gideon, the son of Joash, a man of Israel, for into his hand hath God delivered Midian and all the host. So this is the enemy interpreting a dream that they've had. So look at what happens. Watch these next few verses. So it goes on. He says, Watch this, verse 15. And it was so when Gideon heard the telling of the dream and the interpretation thereof, that he worshipped and returned into the host of Israel and said, Arise, for the Lord hath delivered into your hand the host of Midian. And he divided the 300 men into 3 companies, and he put a trumpet in every man's hand, and empty pitchers and lamps within the pitchers. And he said unto them, Look on me, and do likewise. And behold, when I come to the outside of the camp, it shall be that as I do, so shall ye do. Ooh, ooh, ooh. When I blow with the trumpet, I and all that are with me, then blow ye trumpets also on every side of all the camp, and say, The sword of the Lord and of Gideon. All right, point number 1. Don't make the mistake of trying to learn more about your enemy than you do yourself in order to speak their language. Don't make the mistake of trying to learn more about your enemy than you do yourself in order to speak their language. See, this is something that a lot of my colleagues, former colleagues, and some still are, and some are falling by the wayside. Some of them gone. Some of them I cut off. Some of them they cut themselves off. But one of the things that was said a bunch of years back was, I got to study all of these other things. I got to study the enemy, and I got to study these other religions, and I got to study all of these things because I need to know my enemy. I was like, y'all can go do that. I'm not doing that. No, I'm not. It didn't feel right when they said it, and clearly it wasn't right because most of them done went off the deep end. Why are you trying to study something and you don't even know yourself? You don't even know your weapons good enough. You don't even know your word good enough. You don't... Lions, calm down. Watch this. So you don't even know your stuff good enough, but you're trying to go learn about who you're fighting against. As grandmother would say. It don't make walking around sense. So you don't even know all your weapons. You don't even know what all is promised to you. You don't even know what all is in place for you to function by. But you're going to try to go learn about your enemy and learn more about them than you know about yourself. That don't make no sense. But watch this, because I need you to see something. Again, don't make the mistake of trying to learn more about your enemy than you do yourself in order to speak their language. So I don't want you obsessed. Oh, I got to learn what my enemy is. No. That's why I wanted you to see this, because he's only going off of the instruction of the Most High. When the Most High tells him, okay, if you still got some uneasiness, now go over there and listen to what you're going to hear them say. And that's what he was done. And see, again, what I want you to take into account, because I know that this is messing with some of you all. Some of you all have been given some instructions. You've been given some instructions, and in the process of you being given those instructions, you've got some questions about those instructions. And you having the questions about those instructions now has you unsure about what it is that you're supposed to be doing for the fullness of God's kingdom. Here's what I need you to understand. You're going to hear the world speak something that's going to clarify for you what your instructions are. Your instructions are not coming from the world, so don't twist what I'm saying. But you're going to hear, just like this. You're going to see something, you're going to hear something, whether it's on the news, whether it's whatever. You're going to hear that, or you're going to see that, And then that's going to give you clarity on what God had already spoke to you. That's what this right here was. This was, Gideon knew what was said to him. He knew he was going to have to war. He knew he was going to have to fight. He knew all of those things. But the issue was he still had some unsurety about him. And the Lord told him, okay, go down there and listen to see what they say. And then once you hear that, that's going to strengthen you. That's all I'm telling you now. I don't know what it is you're going to hear. I don't know if you're going to hear something about the economy. I don't know if you're going to hear something about decisions that they're making, about interest. I don't know what it is you're going to hear. I can't give you that. That's not my business. But what I can give you is you're going to be able to hear something from what is going on in the world, and it's going to help confirm what God has already said to you. I don't know who that's for. Not my business. I just felt it. I said it. Let me go on to this next part. So here's the thing I want you to understand. Now I want you to go to the book of Proverbs. Book of Proverbs, chapter 15 and verse 1. Because in the book of Proverbs, chapter 15 and verse 1, it says this. Proverbs 15, verse 1. A soft answer turneth away wrath, but grievous words stir up anger. So in most cases, the only time that somebody's got wrath against you is they're looking at you as an enemy. And you're probably looking at them as an enemy. So understanding how to have a soft answer to turn away that wrath, that means that you can talk their language. So hopefully now it's making a little more sense to you as to why you need to know how to talk your enemy's language. So watch this. Since we're in Proverbs, look at Proverbs 16 and verse 7. Proverbs 16 and verse 7 says this. Y'all know it. You've heard this one a lot. You're going to hear it a lot more. Proverbs 16 and verse 7. When a man's ways please the Lord, he maketh even his enemies to be at peace with him. So this just ties into what we looked at in Proverbs 15 and 1 to show you, okay, when your ways please the Lord, you're saying what he's given you to say, you're putting into place what he's given you to put in place. All of a sudden now your enemies are going to be stifled. So my last passage that I want you to look at before I give you this second point is in the book of Luke, chapter 21, verses 10 through 15. So in Luke, chapter 21, verses 10 through 15, says this. Watch this. Now we finna get a little heavy. We finna get a little deep, a little rough here. Luke 21, verses 10 through 15. It says this. It says, then said he unto them, nation shall rise against nation, kingdom against kingdom. And great earthquakes shall be in divers places, and famines and pestilences and fearful sights and great signs shall there be from heaven. But before all of these, they shall lay their hands on you and persecute you, delivering you up to the synagogues and into prisons, being brought before kings and rulers for my name's sake. And it shall turn to you for a testimony. Settle it therefore in your hearts, not to meditate what you shall answer. For I will give you a mouth and wisdom, which, I need for y'all to type this word in for me. All. A-L-L. I need for y'all to type it in. I need for all of y'all to type in all. I will give you a mouth and wisdom which all your adversaries shall not be able to gainsay nor resist. All your adversaries. He's saying all of your adversaries won't be able to do anything against what I tell you to say. They gonna hear you. They gonna know that what you are saying is from me. And they're not gonna be able to respond. They're not going to be able to gainsay. They're not going to be able to resist it. They ain't going to be able to dispute it. They ain't going to be able to do nothing with it. See, and this is what I need for you to get. This is what I need for you to understand. Because of this right here. Because my second point is this. If you have an enemy that's still raising hell and getting under your skin, you ain't said the right thing yet. If you have an enemy that's still raising hell and getting under your skin, you ain't said the right thing yet. See, and this is why I need for you to get this. This is why I need for you to understand this. And I already know what's finna go down. Because watch this. Now all of a sudden, everything that y'all are typing is not showing up. It's not showing up. It's all good. Ain't no problem. Because that just means I'm just fixing to go into a deeper mode. So watch this. Here's the deal. Because as I go to my next point, and we get ready for this third point, because remember, don't make the mistake of trying to learn more about your enemy than you do yourself in order to speak their language. So watch this. Here's the deal. Watch this. And the second point, if you have an enemy that's still raising hell and getting under your skin, you ain't said the right thing yet. So now, I want you to go to 1 Chronicles chapter 12 and verse 17. 1 Chronicles chapter 12